even if they voted for him before, once or even twice, they have to be honest enough to admit he is not performing anywhere near how he was, which I think makes him even more dangerous and, frankly, more manipulable.
Hillary Clinton is back just 2 weeks before the election on her Trump hate train and on her pro Kamala pom-poms. Yay, she's so great, because she released a book. Like that's not incidental, like that wasn't planned. Bashing Trump, worrying about how bad he is, what would happen if he's elected. But the funny thing is, people do not care. People see through her ridiculous claims that she makes in this interview, which we're going to go over. Because even on the CNN video, 3K dislikes to 1K likes. People in the comments going after, when you're dragging Hillary out, you know things are desperate. Clinton is still mad she lost. Damn, she's unlikable as... It's itsSeanDaniel here. If you guys enjoy the videos, consider subscribing or just liking down below. Now let's go through Hillary's ridiculous claims and see how they make no sense at all. She's a sore loser.
Do you think he's the same Donald Trump in 2024 that he was in 2016?
I don't. I think he's more unhinged, more unstable. I think you see that all the time in both his rallies and his kind of word salad after word salad speeches, but you also see it in the interviews he does do, which are primarily with, friendly outlets, where he can't follow, the question, doesn't really answer the question. And then we certainly saw it for 39 minutes when he just froze on stage and, just kind of moved to music. So
if anybody does word salads, it's Kamala Harris, not Trump, Hillary.
No, he's not the same person. Part of it is he seems to be totally obsessed by his grievances, his resentments, his getting even with people. And I think when you are living with that much bitterness and that kind of mindset, you are not able to communicate effectively, because literally you are thinking all the time about who said something bad about you, who made, kind of a comment that you disagreed with. You can't be president and have that kind of mindset. So I think that if people are paying attention, even if they voted for him before, once or even twice, they have to be honest enough to admit he is not performing anywhere near how he was, which I think makes him even more dangerous and, frankly, more manipulable by people around him. And let's be honest, his foreign adversaries of our country who are watching what is a deteriorating performance with, I think, a certain amount of satisfaction. They're looking forward, if he were to end up as president, to continue to, flatter and manipulate him into doing what they want him to do.
Just constant lies. They would rather have Kamala in because they can manipulate her. They don't want Trump in because he's going to keep it real. She's just pissed because she lost. And like people in the comments are saying before we get into the rest of the video, when you're dragging Hillary out, you know things are desperate. She's desperate. Kamala Harris' campaign is desperate. And it's proof because Trump is winning in so many polls.
Tried to, in the book, talk about, what kind of presidency, what kind of country would we have if he were to end up there, and it's a very scary thought.
Yeah, you kind of take several pages to lay out what that scenario would look like. But on what you said, that he is different, and imagining people supporting him, I mean, he is neck and neck with Harris, and he has actually gained support when you look at the numbers, especially with key groups like Black men. That is something that the Harris campaign has been working on. Why do you think he's gaining support then?
Because he keeps it real.
Well, I think it's one of the real questions of not just the campaign, but of our country right now, that really any person that is thinking hard about their own position in the economy, their own future, would think that he offers a better deal. Some people
Obviously.
support him because they like what he says. They like his belligerent attitude. They like his insulting. They may even occasionally believe some of his versions of alternative reality. Other people, I think, find him to be a strong man, and that's very attractive to certain voters. They may not even agree with what he's saying, but they think that he's strong, and they find that appealing. I can't psychoanalyze the electorate for sure, but there are a lot of reasons why people would be for him that, to me, really don't add up, because for anybody who thinks that he would only go after somebody unlike them, that he would only support laws and changes that would hurt somebody else, I don't think they understand that with an authoritarian personality in power, there is no safe haven. There's always a chance he's impulsive, he's emotional. I think he is unstable, that he will turn on anyone, any individual, any group, for any perceived disloyalty or, comment that he thinks is contrary to, himself or what he is pushing. So I think people need to really think hard, because this is, one thing I know for sure: if you vote for Kamala Harris, you will have the opportunity to disagree with her. You will have the opportunity to vote against her if she runs again. With Donald Trump, I'm not so sure about that, because one of his, wannabe role models is Orban in Hungary, and Orban did get elected and then proceeded to dismantle the institutions of democracy. So that's what people need to be worried about.
Viktor Orban in Hungary, okay, as someone who's traveled Europe a lot, he's not allowing illegal migrants into his country. He's like, if you come in, because they have all these fences up and they have military around them, if you try to come in, because there's a huge migrant crisis in Europe, they're flooding Europe just like they are the States, if you try to come in illegally and try to cross it, you're gonna get shot. And they're like, that's authoritarianism. Bro, that's respecting your country. If he's friends with Viktor Orban, that's a great fucking thing.
I've gotten Hillary Clinton very easily. And when they lock her up, what did I do? I always said, take it easy, just relax. I could have had her put in jail. And I decided I didn't want to do that.
And Secretary Clinton is back with me now. Secretary, to hear him still saying it 8 years later, what is that like for you?
Well, first of all, what he said, no surprise, is not true. There is a lot of reporting about how he did literally order his attorneys general, I think Sessions,
Jeff
for sure,
Sessions.
Barr after that. Yeah, he told them to, investigate me. He told them to go after me. And, there was nothing to be found. So, there was no case, and that ended that. But what's really deeply troubling about what he just said, you're not supposed to be saying that as a president or a presidential candidate. This is what I'm talking about, Caitlin. I mean, the Justice Department doesn't belong to him.
Didn't Joe Biden just say we need to lock Trump up? So why can Joe say it, but Trump can't say it? Also, Hillary looks like she looks irritated, man. She just looks like she has no soul to me.
Talking about, Caitlin, I mean, the Justice Department doesn't belong to him. The president should not be, like Richard Nixon or Donald Trump, ordering the Justice Department to pursue individual Americans for political purposes, or in Trump's case, individual grievances. So this just adds to my argument that whether it's me or literally anybody else, he has no business saying that. He has no right to say that. He should be respecting the rule of law. And it's equally troubling that he has said he would fire Jack Smith. All those cases against him, which, based on, my assessment as a recovering lawyer, are really filled with lots of very strong allegations based on a lot of evidence. that he would get rid of all of that so that he would be above the law. So, you know, he can say whatever he wants to about me, which he will, but that's not really my concern. My concern is what it shows about the kind of president he wants to be for everybody in the country.
Yeah, I mean, he even went as far today to say that he considers that Jack Smith should be considered mentally deranged and he should be thrown out of the country. And as I was reading your book, you talked.
Yeah, because he just attacked and tried to go after Trump and tried to find a case to prosecute Trump to keep him off the campaign trail, which is ridiculous. Hillary, every time, okay, here's the lesson before we keep going with Miss Caitlin over here, she's snarky. I don't like her. And Trump called her out for that. Whatever, usually the left, okay, whatever they're accusing you of, just like somebody you know that's selfish, manipulative, evil, just like those people that you know, the left is the same thing, because whatever they accuse you of is really what they are. It's how they manipulate you, get you off your back. If they try to manipulate you, they try to get you all defensive. You're calling them out, hey, you're doing this. This is something wrong you're doing. And they're like, but you're that. Like she's like, Trump's a fascist. Trump wants to lock up his political enemies. Trump is unstable. Trump is weak. Everyone in the world wants Trump elected so they can manipulate him, all the other leaders. Everything that she just said, that I said she said, which she said before, wow, that was a lot. All that stuff, all those accusations about Trump are exactly applicable to Kamala Harris. It's always the case with them.
Talk about his efforts to try to get Jeff Sessions to open investigations into you and what happened with your emails at the State Department and all of that.
Where'd the emails go, Hillary?
When you hear that and you hear what he's saying he'd do back in office, do you have personal concerns about him retaliating against you if he does win this election?
Where'd they go? Where'd the emails go?
No, because I know I haven't done anything worthy of that, but I will say that, you know, going after people for partisan, personal, political purposes, you know, is a very difficult experience for somebody. I know that firsthand.
What did y'all do to Trump during this last campaign with all the cases? Went after him because it was Trump.
And I know that it can be an expensive proposition to defend yourself. It can be a very, emotionally draining experience. So I think the threats he's making about a whole range of people should concern anybody. Yeah. And I just have to say, Caitlin, that, you know, here we are. It's 12 days before the election of the President of the United States of America. And it's absolutely bonkers that we are talking about what he might do to violate the law, to punish his political opponents. I mean, this is so un-American. You know, I've been around longer than you have, and I've agreed and disagreed with presidents, Democrats and Republicans, over a lot of decades. And I was on the impeachment inquiry staff that investigated President Nixon. And eventually, he was forced to resign after the evidence came out because he was he was abusing the office of the presidency. How can we be back here, even entertaining the idea that someone who frankly makes, Nixon look as a lesser threat because of the kinds of things that Trump is saying and the kind of coziness he exhibits toward people like Putin, how can we even be at a point where Americans could say, I want more of that? It's just truly so distressing to me.
On that front, I mean, because of comments like that Trump makes, it has put together a very strange coalition behind Vice President Harris. I mean, ranging from Barack Obama on stage, not surprising, you obviously. Dick Cheney, though, is voting for her, someone that I would probably feel safe saying don't have a lot in common with. The two of you have certainly traded barbs over the years. I mean, you once likened him to Darth Vader. What does it say to you that you and Dick Cheney are now voting for the same person for president?
It says that the establishment is getting in line because they have no shot.
Well, it says that we both have the same deep worries about the threats that Trump poses to the Constitution, to the rule of law, to our institutions of government, and how easily influenced he is by forces both within the United States and abroad that want to manipulate the United States government for their own ends. And, as I've said repeatedly, I don't agree with Dick or Liz Cheney on most policies, but boy, do I agree with them about their clear-eyed view of this threat. I think they have the view I do, which is, let's take a deep breath here. Let's elect the person who will be a president that we don't have to go to bed every night worried about what we're going to find in the morning. Let's get back to arguing about all of the different policies that are the birthright of Americans to argue about, whether it's, taxes or housing or gun safety or reproductive rights or anything else. And let's be sure then we have another election in 4 years where we can battle it out between people who are maybe in deep disagreement over policies, but in even deeper agreement about what is best for our country and our democracy.
What? She doesn't make any sense. Hillary is on her last leg. They pulled her out to try to get some support. It's all timed. They think through so many things. They think through having the first presidential debate all the way back in June, having it really early. It was a really rare thing so that Biden could get shown out to the world that how incapable he is. They could force him to resign. They could put in the new candidate early enough in order to get some traction with her. This stuff is by design. It's planned. She wrote a whole book, Hillary Clinton did, and now she's coming out promoting it to try to gain some traction and re-promote Kamala Harris and bring down Trump and cultivate the Democrat base that likes Hillary. But even on CNN's channel, it's not working. 3K dislikes to 1K likes. People on here calling it out. When you're dragging Hillary out, things are desperate. Deleting comments, are we CNN? That's an accusation on here. I don't know if that's true. Clinton is still mad she lost. Damn, Hillary is unlikable as fuck. So even on CNN's channel, people can see through it like I'm sure you can. But remember, it's all planned, okay? This stuff is not some randomized thing. Oh, now Hillary's all of a sudden on TV 2 weeks before the election. No. And it's really not even effective because it's so easy to see through. And it just tells you more and more about these people, like Caitlin Collins, I think her name is, the interviewer, that they will be so sold out to promote this thing that is totally false. And they're the bearer of information in our country and in the world. A lot of people look to CNN, news sources like this, for truth, for information, and it's just a blatant lie, which is why so many of us have had to go to like Twitter, other places to get our information because we just don't trust people anymore. And hopefully it'll be the results of all these people in the world. And hopefully the result of all of us thinking clearly will be shown on November 5th. It's SeanDaniel here. If you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing or watching another one right here if you're at the end of the video. Or send a comment down below and I will try to respond. And I'll see you in the next one.